Welcome everybody to the Tornado Tag, presented by ABJ Podcast. Tonight is going to be a bracket. No, I'm sorry, not a bracket. A pick'em draft for our favorite best on-stream relationships, and this podcast is scheduled for one fall. What's going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of Tornado Tag. We've been off a couple days. We had some things going on. New jobs starting up. People are doing commentary jobs on the side. But tonight on the call, ABJ and BP Burke here for Tornado Tag. How you been, bud?
Good. Yeah, I've been a little busy with some basketball stuff. Not Benny the basketball, but basketball nonetheless.
That we know of. It could have been Benny.
Yeah.
I mean, we just
could have been.
He sucked his arms and legs back in.
Could have been, and got very tiny.
Yeah, we were supposed to do a bunch of stuff over the week. We were supposed to go to a parade. Unfortunately, I started a new job, so we couldn't do that. Then the next day, we were supposed to be at PPW, and then we got smashed with snow, so that didn't happen.
Yep.
So a lot of opportunities for us to hang out that we missed those opportunities. So it's been been almost a week now since we've actually got to hang out. In between then, what's been new? Anything for you, or just wrestling in general wise?
It always stinks when you have to cancel a show, but the weather was bad. Looked at some of those roads, and there were a lot of. It was just the worst possible timing for a storm. So it would have been snowy coming in and icy going out. We didn't want to put anybody's health and safety at risk.
Yeah, and you have talent that drive really far too.
Yeah, we have talent coming from New York, from both New York City, New York, upstate New York. We've had the Philadelphia. So, yeah, it was the right call to make. And then as soon as that was done, we are planning the next one.
Yeah.
You can't just roll out the same exact show. Some people are going to be booked other places. Some people that were booked that day are going to be back.
So are they double shot next month? Is it 2 PPW shows? Or
no, we're just going to do the one. We're just doing the one. And then we're all, and that's going to really be something we're going to do. It's going to be March 15th. It'll be 3 weeks from yesterday. We're going to be doing pay and dues at the Slatington Expo Center in Slatington, Pennsylvania. It's about 30 minutes north of Allentown. If you're in the area, it's about 20 minutes away from Jim Thorpe. And this is going to be the big setup because in April, Super Show 5, which is traditionally our biggest show of the year, or one of them.
Yeah.
Is going to be going down, and might have some fun things planned for that one.
Nice. Things over on the high tension side of things. So we are streaming this live for High Tension on High Tension's page, on ABJ's page, as well as the newly rebirthed Tornado Tag podcast channel over on YouTube. That was our place where all of our old content is. We are kind of rebranding that. So if you are watching this on High Tension or the ABJ channel and you're like, listen, I like wrestling, but I don't really like this show or that show, or I want to be hyper focused on all the wrestling stuff. Well, now you can go back and watch essentially 8 years worth of content of this channel of back when we very first started, sitting in my kitchen, to now doing it the way we do now, and older members and everyone's old take. Like, you could literally follow the entire journey of AEW essentially through our podcast for the most part.
No kidding.
We started before and after, before AEW was even a thing, and then here we are now. But over on High Tension, we had probably one of the biggest responses to a social media post for independent wrestling that I've seen in this immediate area in a long time. They put out a post about who they want to see in the Rumble, and then it has over 316 comments, almost 100 likes, 170 shares, and it's just blowing up of the people who they want to see. So between the 4 people, it was 2 tag teams and 2 singles competitors: Mob Hill and the Citywide Street Gang, which is Tom LaRosa and Martin Hughes, who we know very well. Twitch and C Morgan is a guy from Ireland who's now in the States training dual citizenship. And I'm gonna be honest, I've been getting a little heat today, BP. The votes came in, and essentially they threw the votes away, and they said, because everyone's so excited for the show. I see where High Tension and Labor of Love were doing here, right? Everyone's excited. There's a buzz for all 4 people who were entered. So they just said, you know, let's just book them all. Let's just put them all in the Rumble. We'll find a way to get it done. Everybody wins. C. Morgan doesn't like that. He clearly won by votes, dominated the votes, and said, why do they get an opportunity to be on the show? I clearly won this competition. I don't want to be here now. We'll talk about it. So, and he's been showing up to Suplex today. They lock him out of the store. I'm getting a bunch of messages saying, don't talk to this guy. He's bad news. He's getting a little crazy. I'm giving him an opportunity to come talk on the podcast. I normally have a track record where if people lose their minds, I don't have them on the podcast, but I think I'm going against the grain on this one. And we're going to see how it works out. So sometime this week, I will set up a day to go live for an interview on the ABJ podcast to talk to C. Morgan about this controversy coming up, but hopefully it won't lead any issues for this upcoming show. Philly Mike actually today just got his brand new High Tension Championship, and he'll be taking on Cocaine on the ropes March 22nd, 6 p.m. bell.
But let's be clear here. You're talking about 2 different shows now.
Yes, this is a different show. This is March show coming up. The Suplex show isn't until April. Yes. So this show's coming up. It's gonna be for 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's an all-night rave. Wrestling starts at 11:30 at night. There's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff going on, some BDSM. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a good time. And then the very next day, if you're not exhausted from the rave, actually, let's put the title fight up. The title match is something else here. Wrestle Cup 3 will be going down Sunday, March 23rd for Labor of Love. Doors at 1, bell at 1:30. Cheeseburger will be defending his championship that we watched him win against Weapon X Matt Mikowski. So that's a lot of cool stuff coming up in the world of professional wrestling on our end. So make sure you go follow PPW, High Tension, Labor of Love, the whole High Tension Network family, and follow along when it comes to the drama that's going on over there.
Lots of wild stuff happening. Lots of wild stuff. I want to congratulate. I just saw this like an hour ago. PPW Heavyweight Champion Rembrandt is now the Battle Club Pro Champion as well.
Really?
Remy 2 belts over there.
Remy 2 belts he's getting belts everywhere. So he's the Battle Club Championship.
Yeah, the Battle Club Pro Champion.
Wow, look at this guy. Killing it. Leon the King says he loves this topic. Well, listen, we're doing a little bit of the beginning show banter here for the pod, and then we're going to get into that topic right away. Hopefully more people join in, like, share, subscribe. So one of the things too, if you're over on the ABJ channel or the Tornado Tag channel, any of those, scroll down to the very bottom, and it's a whole list of all of our new content pages where you can check everything out. The Tornado Tag page will be uploading all of our older content in spurts. And then what I'm doing now is I wasn't even going to go live on this channel until everything was caught up. But I figured, you know what? I'll pop in live here, pop in live on the other one, and we'll just slowly grow with the new channel. So Tornado Tag, Banging Beers is back. There's new content there. TBI, we're still working on some things and ironing things out. Not Cool in High School, and then we added Not Cool in High School Horror. And then we just started a new show called Blazing Buds, where myself and Lily and Brian are some other guests pop up. We talk about topics, which is a lot of fun. So make sure you go check out all those channels. So tons of stuff coming up. Merchandise is for sale. You can grab some t-shirts. There is that limited edition stuff still going on the Teespring. So if you want to get those limited run I Heart ABJ shirts for the month, they are still there. That's pretty much all I got for the plugging and the podcast stuff. So how we're gonna do it today is we got 5 rounds. We're still kind of debating on how we do a first pick here, because I think BP really needs that first pick. He really wants that.
Here's my proposition, because I was ready to wheel and deal here. I was ready to make some trades.
So what are you willing to give up for this first pick?
I will, after that first pick, you can take the next 3. and then we'll rotate from there.
Wow,
I will give you 3. That is like I'm doing the Mike Dick and Ricky Williams. You can basically have my draft. Like, okay. Obviously, I still have to fill out my 5 picks, but you're gonna get 3 in a row, bang, bang, bang.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you this:
that first pick.
I'm gonna be a gentleman here today, BP. You are the recently won Super Bowl champion team out of the two of us. Unfortunately, with the parade situation, I did not allow you to have that experience because my job
got to win it again. It's no big deal. So I got to win it again now. You're
never going to get another one because we're coming hard next year.
You've cursed the Washington Commanders. It's all on you now. It's all on you.
So I'm going to give you the first pick of the draft for this one. For this episode, and the next episode, I'll get the first pick for the next draft we do.
That works. All
right. Now, this isn't the best couples. This is our picks of who we think are these best couples in it. So if you say, well, you didn't say this one, well, it's not our favorite. Put your favorites in the comments or the live chat as you're watching. So
I'm mainly going in kayfabe as well. I don't know what your plan was.
I'm sticking on screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Now there is some crossover where some of these on-screen characters are also in relationships, but like I'm not going with Rhea and Buddy Matthews, right? Because on screen they never were a relationship. Now just because a female is the manager doesn't always also make them a relationship, but if they did have, let's just say, chemistry. Mm-hmm. Or they leaned in a little heavier on the relationship aspect, but even if they didn't really kind of define it as one, that can still pass.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, BP, I will defer to you the first pick and tell me why it's Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth.
Because it's the greatest wrestling storyline ever. Is why. It's pretty clear. It's the greatest story WWE ever told, and it's something that had variance. It had It had a depth of storytelling that WWF, WWE never really had in any other thing that I can think of. To the point where there's beats, and it's so funny because if you look at those early WrestleMania, well, not WrestleMania 1, they weren't there yet, but if you start at WrestleMania 2 and you progress to 2 and 3 kind of together. But you progress to, we'll say, WrestleMania 8, and even a little beyond WrestleMania 8, you get a fully fleshed out story.
Yeah.
Actually, no, WrestleMania 8, because that was kind of the end of Miss Elizabeth until WCW. And even if you carry on the WCW, you get more. So let's set the table here. So it starts with Randy Savage coming into the WWF in I believe late 1985 or mid 1985.
Hottest commodity.
After WrestleMania 1. And he was a guy who everybody was like, you have to see this guy out of Kentucky, Memphis. Randy Savage is ungodly. Because back in the day, you got to think back in 1985, jumping off the top rope to the floor with a double axe handle was that was the stuff that Commander does now. That was
he's Kenny Omega of his time. He's the Will Ospreay of his time.
Right. And then he has that character too, the persona, the kind of that little bit of extra the guys in my opinion Ospreay just don't have. Ospreay, I'm not saying he's a bad talker, I'm not saying he's not charismatic, but he just doesn't have
character presence, not there.
Doesn't have that spark that Randy Savage does. Nobody in wrestling does.
On an independent level, I was doing a TikTok live yesterday, and Alex from High Tension joined, and JS Hawthorne joined, and we just had a conversation about the business on TikTok live, and it was really good. And I think a lot of people missed out on a pretty good chat. Maybe I'll do more of those, whether it's on Instagram or wherever it may be. J.S. Hawthorne was kind of talking about being frustrated of he's seeing these other people grow, and he was at places and other people are getting opportunities, and he feels like he's just falling behind. And I said, there's one thing you need to realize. Yes, the people getting picked ahead of you are body people. They're Ken dolls. You know what I mean? They're our Zetas are the, all those people he worked with in these different layers. I'm but there's one thing that you have on this independent scene that nobody else has fleshed out as well as you do, and that's character. You are a really, really, really good wrestler, but you're also a A+ character. And on top of that character, you can tweak and change that character on a dime and fall right into a different lane or a different character. And you embody it so much that people subscribe to it. There's no one who has a crowd more in the palm of their hands at any point in time, whether they're the good guy or the bad guy, than J.S. Hawthorne.
No, I am a huge fan of the Thespian.
And I dare to say he's Macho Man level character. Like, I would say even possibly better, because Macho Man was just Macho Man, but Hawthorne can change it up and go both ways. You know what I mean? Like, he's really good. He's like, and I'm not just saying that he's our homie. I'm just saying in the landscape of professional wrestling, there's not many people on TV as good as him in that aspect.
No, I am. I cannot put in the words how much respect I have for him as a performer. It is he is as good as it gets.
Yeah, he's really, really good. So good. But
anyway, yeah. Let's talk about this story here, because it's like a 5-year story back when they didn't do that. Back when, most programs ran 3 months. This is a 5-year story. And yes, it had beats and it had times it kind of flagged and lingered, but Randy Savage comes in as this hot free agent, the hottest commodity. Everybody wants a piece of him, and they did an angle with him. Like, they did this years later with Bobby Roode. They actually did it with Andre, but Andre wound up being too injured to come back. But basically, every manager in the WWF was just throwing themselves at Randy Savage, doing whatever they could to make him their newest, make themselves like his guy. And it's not Freddie Blassie or Slick or whoever it was at that point. It's not Bobby Heenan. It's not Jimmy Hart. It's not any of these guys. It's this new person, Elizabeth. And you're like, what? Who's that? And then it kind of pivots from that to, oh, he's just a really bad boyfriend. He is a jerk who...
He's an egomaniac.
An egomaniac who feels like he owns her. And it's a great thing to get heat, like, because everybody immediately has sympathy for her and hates him. And then the matches weren't great, but they throw another kind of hidden, another layer into this of George the Animal Steel, the kind of simpleton, is smitten with Elizabeth, and Savage exploits this, and she wants to be nice to him, but Savage, like, kind of is like, no, you're with me, and I'm gonna use his obsession with you to get one over on him. And she just kind of takes it. And then in WrestleMania 3, she's still running along during this whole, to this point, the greatest Intercontinental title reign. And I think it's still one of the all-time great Intercontinental title reigns. And they're kind of doing the whole thing through it. And then as soon as he loses that title and he's starting to get a huge response, now it's time to turn him babyface. How do you turn him babyface? Somebody threatened Elizabeth, and now he is going to step in and say, whoa, no. Like, I haven't been the best person in the world, but you're not doing this. And he takes that bullet for her, and then that leads into the Mega Powers, and that leads into, well, Hulk Hogan has lust in his eyes, and that turns it, and Savage gets crazier than ever and kicks Elizabeth to the curb. Look back at the evidence. Savage was, time has been
Time has been good for Macho Man. Yeah,
Savage was right about Hulk Hogan all along. I think we can all agree on this now.
Yeah, totally.
So then you have Savage spinning off with Sherry, and Elizabeth kind of goes away for a few years.
And this is where I would, maybe, if I had to pick, I go the Sherry and Savage route more, because I like that dynamic better.
The story here is so good, though, because even when she comes back for one appearance between WrestleMania 5 and WrestleMania 7, it's at WrestleMania 6, and she's on the other side. She's with Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire, and she's gotten her independence from Randy Savage now. But then when he loses his career at WrestleMania 7, who's there to kick Sherry to the curb when Sherry's literally kicking Savage while he's down? Who's there to...
She really loves him.
Yeah, and this is a level of storytelling you don't really get in pro wrestling a lot, like this level of nuance. And then, the wedding thing, the Jake Roberts thing, the Ric Flair, she was mine before she was yours thing at WrestleMania 8. And then it goes away for a while again. And then you come back in WCW in like 1996, years later, and she turns heel on him. And Ric Flair and Ric Flair and Elizabeth and all the other like people in the Horsemen are sitting ringside at Nitro with bottle service and these fine fancy dinners that are being paid for by Randy Savage's credit card. It's great stuff.
So if there's essentially a story beat in wrestling that people are to this day still chasing and mocking and pulling bits from, it is Macho Man and Sherry.
Elizabeth.
I'm sorry, Macho Man and Elizabeth. Yeah.
It is, in my opinion, the greatest storyline in the history of professional wrestling.
Wow. It's up there. That's a whole nother draft too. Top storylines. Because you think it's number one?
Just look at the scope of it. Like,
yeah,
the NWO lasted for what, 3 years? This lasted for maybe Vince versus Austin, because that kicked off WWE into a whole another stratosphere.
You know which one I would put there too? Maybe tip my hat a little bit. My favorite, Kaufman Lawler.
Yeah, it was a program that it's looked back on now because of Andy Kaufman's legacy, but it's looked back on now as being more successful than it really was from a business standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good one too. All right, so my number 2 pick, I had to adjust a little bit here.
We're gonna do snake styles. You're gonna get 2 picks in a row here.
Are we gonna do snake?
Yeah, that's only fair.
We can go back and forth. That's fine.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Well, I'm gonna take Randy and Sherry off the list. I'm not saying you can't use the same person twice. We can make a whole list of just AJ Lee and Dolph Ziggler here. But we're not. I don't know if either one are gonna make anyone's list. But I'm gonna go with a storyline that maybe in today's time does not age very well on how it was started. But when it comes to longevity, it's probably the longest relationship on screen and the most powerful one on screen. And it all starts with a wedding chapel and maybe some illicit substances where Hunter Hearst Helmsley is going to take the boss's daughter to Vegas and get married. And he ruins the wedding between Stephanie and Test. And Stephanie on Triple H's on-screen romance blossoms from there. They legit go to get married in real life. And we could be here all day if I told the whole story of everything Triple H and Stephanie has done on camera.
Technically, in storyline, in kayfabe, they did divorce in when did he turn babyface? They divorced in, I want to say 2005, 2006, something like that. In kayfabe, obviously not for real.
But she came out with him at the One Mania later.
Oh yeah. Well, because everybody knows the real deal too.
Yeah,
and that's become more important than their goofy storylines.
Yeah.
That's
gonna be my rival to your Macho Man and Elizabeth.
That's a good one.
I think that's a top tier pick. That's a top tier pick right there.
There were some that, and even you could argue this with Savage and Elizabeth, especially because of some of the stuff they allege really happened. There's some I don't know if I think that's a great love story because it kind of starts with
real life jealousy.
Well, no, it kind of starts. No, the Triple H Stephanie. It kind of starts with essentially
date rape.
Yeah, pretty much. and a marriage that is somehow legally binding, even though it's obvious that. But it's
listen. If anyone can get away with anything, it's the McMahons. We're starting to learn that. You know what I mean?
Because there's another one that I was thinking of, and I'm like, no, there's some really bad stuff in that one that maybe we'll talk about in the honorable mention. So I'm going to stick with one because I think this did such a great job. I'm going to go with my next pick.
Well, real quick, also looking at this list, there obviously we can throw some ones in there for us that are personal favorites, but in the style of a draft, you want to take the heavy hitters first, right? The ones that we think should be considered a top round pick. So Macho Man Elizabeth
in big dust right now
is number one. Like, listen, there's some names out there that I'm sure you're gonna be like, well, why didn't you say those? Like, so it is still our opinion, but you have to logically, as a wrestling fan, rank these accordingly.
Yeah, Randy and Liz is for me. That's like if you don't take that number one, it's like not taking LeBron James number one when he was in the draft. There's like, oh no, Carmelo Anthony, Darko Milicic. No, you're taking LeBron number one.
Yeah, terrible move. Yeah, if you go that route, I might have some stupid ones later, but like round 5 is like your late rounds. You only have 5 picks here, but
you're taking a flyer.
Shaping out a team.
I just dropped my notes and then I kicked them across the floor trying to pick them up, but that's okay. Are we ready to move on here?
Yeah, go ahead. Now,
I'm going
second round pick.
Yeah, I am going to go with a new one. I think it's that good. I think it's been that much of a needle mover for both of the people involved, and they got a lot of mileage out of it. I'm going to go with Rhea and Dom. This is my number 2
Rhea
pick.
and Dom, yeah.
I think it's that good.
You can throw the Dom Liv in there too, because that's kind of stretched out and continued it. But the Rhea and Dom is the one everyone loved.
Right, and that's the one. If they do a thing where there's like that Randy Liz WrestleMania 7 moment where they tearfully reunite, it's going to be Rhea and Dom. Like that's going to be the one people want to see come back together.
Yeah,
it's going to be Rhea and Dom, and it really established Rhea as mommy. Like it really did, like literally, because it was off of the Eddie Guerrero Poppy thing. So for quite literally, but also established her as this force where Rhea always had it in the ring, but she in this program really unlocked that extra something that took her to the next level, and where now she's kind of far and away the franchise of the women's division, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and it's not even close.
I still think she's a little step behind just when it comes to overall presence than Charlotte Flair, but she's right there. She's the only one she's the only one that I think can rival a Charlotte.
I disagree. I think Rhea has kind of leapt over everybody in these last few years. And like I always thought the measuring stick was Becky Lynch, just because Becky's apex as the man was so high.
Yeah.
And I think Rhea has really kind of eclipsed that, and it's been amazing what she's been able to do. And how could you not love to hate Dom? Like Dom is like the perfect weaselly, sneaky. He is this and the stuff with Ray is what really got him, and that was really the catalyst of that was Rhea. That is what really got him out of Ray's shadow.
Thanksgiving, getting arrested. Like
yeah. At this point, at this point, like not from an overall standpoint, but just in the moment, it's like, well, no, Ray is Dom's dad. Dom isn't Ray's son. Like Dom is the guy who kind of has a little more going on right now.
Yeah,
which I'm sure nobody's happier about that than Ray.
Oh my god,
he's going to be elated.
Man, we had a moment. We Dom was our most improved for a year, because for a while there in the beginning, like you look at photos of him in his first couple of years in WWE, and then look at him now, it's a different human. He has found it. Like he's doing very well, and if they can find a way to snap him into that cool babyface tweener, he's gonna be money. Like probably one of the biggest things in wrestling.
I think Dom has a very bright future ahead of him, and I think Rhea has a very bright present and future. She has, and it was all because they worked so well together. They worked so well as a unit.
Yeah. All right. Well, if I'm gonna go my round two, I hate to piggyback, but if you're gonna go with the modern version, you gotta go with the OG version, and I'm gonna go Eddie Guerrero and Viva la Raza Latino Heat Mamacita China.
It was on my draft board. It was on my draft board.
I feel like if you're busting out Rhea and Dom in round two, I got a counter punch with Eddie and China. I mean, that is probably in that era was the biggest female male dunk combination storyline in a long time. I mean, a lot of the storylines that were kind of being used at that time, if it wasn't in anything, was just girls that Vince was using on camera, and they weren't as fun and entertaining. It was kind of uncomfortable. But Eddie and China was a good story. Like it once again, it got both of them to a new level. It empowered.
By the way, give me literally 10 seconds. I'm just gonna go get my notes. I'll be right back.
Yep. It empowered China to be this character who went on to win men's championships and put her in a new light. And it also, like, it was a time where China was somebody who was also picked on a lot during her DX run for looking too masculine and people kind of making fun of her. And she was kind of getting that Nicole Bass treatment, because Nicole Bass was being used as like the counter, the bizarro version of China, and they were using her masculine, like her muscles and her physique and you know, a lot of that against her. And I feel like the Eddie Guerrero storyline kind of made China beautiful and had a feminine presence, but also made her still strong. And I think it really rewrote the way people perceive China. And it wasn't that, oh, we're making fun of her for being masculine anymore. Like Eddie Guerrero kind of made her like a sexual icon. You know what I mean? Like China went from, oh, is that a man? Like we all know what people said back in the day, and you know what I mean? And that's what China went through as a woman. And during the Eddie, I mean, it got her a Playboy cover. You know what I mean? Like it feminized her, and it really helped her out. And it's a great on-screen story as well. And what better person to catalyze that is Eddie Guerrero.
I probably would have taken that next if you would have taken it. So that's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's a very good pick. I'm gonna go with one where I think this really, again, I think it extended one of their careers, and it really helped elevate the other person who was kind of always talked about as possibly being in that main event mix, but they never really found what they were doing until they were part of this tandem. And it's funny because it comes out of real life, and it was one of those things where even if it's not a great thing in real life, we made it work. We made it work on TV. I'm going with Edge and Lita.
Edge and Lita. As I said, you can go Edge and Lita here. You could go Edge Beth, or you can go Lita Matt Hardy. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a
Edge and Beth Phoenix really didn't do a whole lot on camera together. Yeah. Although Beth Phoenix might be in my, if nothing else, honorable mentions here.
Beth and Edge kind of turned into a relationship too, where it's like every time Edge is in a battle and there's a female presence on the ringside, you're like, Beth's gonna show up and she's gonna kill everybody. Like, yeah, but that's a great pick. Edge and Lita, that was a very spicy story, and that was wild.
And it was one of the early instances of like the internet crowd, the quote unquote smart crowd, like people knowing what's really going on behind the scenes, informing what they're doing, and also because Matt was obviously very upset. If nobody knows the story, it's been 20 years now. Matt Hardy and Lita were dating, and Matt was injured. And he was very good friends with Edge. And while Matt was recovering from his injury, Lita and Edge had an affair. And it ended Matt Hardy and Lita's relationship. And I
think both of them are pretty. I think maybe not Lita. I don't know her personal life.
No, I think everybody's
a beautiful family. I think Edge is doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, Lita seems. I mean, Lita's. I don't know what her whole thing is. None of our business.
Hers isn't really on screen as much as everybody else's. So
I mean, like she's had other things going on, but no, I think just as an on-screen duo, because there was so much heat on Lita already for this. Like fans kind of took Matt Hardy's side on this whole thing when it became it aired out in the court of public opinion. Their like private business became everybody's point of interest. Matt was definitely the baby face in the whole thing. So WWE did the smart thing and they leaned into it. And that was the birth of the rated R superstar, and that was the birth of I think Lita's big flip heel there extended her career for a little bit, because she was getting kind of very stale, just managing the Hardys and doing a moonsault here and there. She got to find a new dimension for her character. Edge has Money in the Bank, and that really elevates him to another level. And he's the first guy to cash in on Cena. And then Matt Hardy comes back, and they make it a storyline anyway, and it worked. It all worked out. And I think it's one of those things where it had a really rough start, but I think everybody was better for it in the end. And Edge and Lita were a really fun tandem, except for the time that Vince made them do the live sex celebration on TV. And
our buddy Precious was there in attendance live.
Wait, it was like what, 10?
Yeah,
not even. I don't think.
He goes, I remember seeing things I probably should have seen, because they actually did get undressed under that blanket.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I know this one's not a long-term booking storyline, and it may not have the test of time yet, and it's still kind of fresh and kind of new, but I think it was very well done. I liked it, and because it's in a 3 spot, I'm gonna have to insert my first 3-way relationship to the mix, and not only a 3-way relationship, but a female 3-way relationship. And I'm gonna go with timeless Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Mina in that throuple situation where they're all tugging at each other's heartstrings. I know you can just go with Toni and Mariah, but I'm going to even put Mina into that mix, because God, was that fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
It led to a rivalry between Mina and Mariah. It made Mariah this giant heel in the company, which then led back to Mariah screwing over Toni, then Mina, and now Toni gets her comeuppance. I still think it's very early for that, and there's a lot more that could be done between the 3 of them. But it was very cool to see kind of on-screen female first ever being done. I know Billy and Chuck might be on the list later of a first male on-screen couple, but I believe I mean they kind of teased it with Mickey and
well, Mickey was kind of a stalker.
Yeah, that was a stalker situation. But this was like 3 consensual people in a thruple are a female on female relationship, and that haven't really been utilized on professional wrestling, American professional wrestling TV, unless it happened on TNA and I'm not aware of it.
They didn't lean too hard into the romantic side of it, but yeah, I get you. I get where you're coming from on that one.
They kissed on. There was on-screen kisses.
Oh, there was.
Yeah. And a lot of other things.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. I think it was. I think 2025 was the time we had our first throuple and all-female throuple on TV.
Yeah,
and still done in a non-Vince way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It didn't look like we're gonna put this together and it's a bunch of dudes writing the story. It looked like it was very done by them, and they were very much in control of how it didn't seem. I mean, it was supposed to be sleazy, but it didn't seem like, I don't know. I can't really describe it. It didn't seem like it was done in poor taste.
I'm very torn between two of my picks for number 4.
All right.
As I'm talking, I still haven't made up my mind where I'm going, because the one is a better story, but again, it's got a lot of stuff that
I'm gonna get a little wacky. I'm getting wacky towards the end here. So
this was a little out of left field. This was a little wacky. I enjoyed it immensely, and I feel
like I know what you're gonna say. I feel like I know where you're going with this.
I enjoyed it immensely, and the kind of cap off to it was one of my favorite segments in the history of the show they did, as far as like comedy bits. I'm going with Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell at number 4.
Wow, threw me for a loop. I'm not gonna say what I thought it was yet. I'm not gonna say that's not even on my list. That's a good pick. I would love to work with Indy Hartwell. I was such a fan of her.
Yeah, I liked Indy Hartwell a lot too.
Yeah, I don't know why they got rid of her.
But it was such a weird thing where, like, it was this really weird guy, like, just a complete like the whole basis of his thing is like he's a weird serial killer. Yeah. And he just takes a liking to Indy Hartwell, and I was, as NXT Black and Gold was kind of drawing to a close, I started to really become a fan of The Way, because it was so, like, everybody found the right comedic note. Like, Johnny Gargano was just this complete egomaniac with an inflated sense of himself. Candice LeRae is trying to mastermind everything. Indy is the innocent that's kind of caught up in all this. Austin Theory's just this dumb meathead. And then Dexter Lumis is just hanging around. And it's such a great dynamic.
Drawing photos.
And like the series finale of NXT Black and Gold, if before they flipped over to 2.0, is their wedding. And it was, I forget all the comedy bits they hit and all the boxes they ticked, but it was so well executed. And even after that, even beyond that, they still kind of reference them as a tandem until, unfortunately, they let Indy go.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great pairing.
I'm so torn here, man. I'm torn. We're on 4, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to pull the trigger on this one. This one was special to me. Unfortunately, I think this is an on-screen couple that then split up. But when it came down to the time they were on screen, it was magical. I know this relationship. I'm gonna highlight this relationship at the peak, because it did get stupid, and it did get ugly, and it went exactly how it goes in the WWE when you get more popular than you're supposed to. And this was something that was so magical on screen that Vince said, I need to kill it. And unfortunately, it ruined probably both their careers, to be honest.
Okay, man, no, this is a really good pick.
The t-shirts, the on-screen segments, it was the most organic feeling thing in a long time on professional wrestling television.
I didn't even think of this one. It's so good.
Rusev Day and Lana Day. Rusev and Lana on screen were so good. And the second it got more exposure than it was supposed to, Vince, your girl's going to leave you and kiss other dudes in front of you. You know what I mean? And they took it with stride, and they still tried to make it work, and they still did everything they can, but it lost what made it special to the fans. Like, the fans wanted that to be something. They were like, Rusev became the biggest baby face in the company because of it. Like,
oh yeah, no, he was super over.
Yeah, people were clamoring for a Rusev Lana World Championship run, but it was so good. I still have my Rusev Day t-shirt. Like, Rusev and Lana was a very, very, very powerful one for me.
I'm kicking myself for not picking that one. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's not even on my list. I have that's a good one. Yeah, because again, two people that complemented each other very well.
Yeah.
And brought something to the table where the whole was greater than the sum of its parts. And that's I think that the common theme on mine here is these are all my picks and that one for sure are all, they really did a lot to enhance the other person's character and to elevate them to a level they wouldn't have gotten to otherwise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I've been debating a lot here, but it has some rough beginnings, and it's probably even worse than, or maybe not worse, but it's on that level of Triple H Stephanie. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on it, and I'm gonna go with my fifth and final pick from ECW, Tommy Dreamer and Beulah McGillicuddy.
Yeah, I have Tommy Beulah / Raven in that mix up.
And you can throw in Kimona in there too, because of the stupid thing they did to kind of cap this off. But it's interesting because this is one where they really did get together. They're still together. They've been married for like 30 years and have 2 kids, which is cool. But it's such a it's a storyline that on paper it shouldn't have worked. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't have worked. Where Tommy Dreamer and Raven and Beulah all went to summer camp together. And Beulah was the homely girl who got really hot afterward, and Tommy Dreamer was the jock who tormented her, and now Raven's bringing her in to torment him. And then for some reason he would pile drive her every month, which is where it gets kind of shaky.
Yeah.
But the whole thing where it kind of flips around, and again, it shouldn't have worked. Like the whole thing shouldn't have worked. It worked because of the people involved and because people really bought into it, and they never let Tommy Dreamer get the win until the very, very end as far as the feud with Raven. Mm-hmm. And then and the worst angles, some of the worst angles in professional wrestling, and this one wasn't very good either, are pregnancy angles. But that was the catalyst to Beulah going babyface. Was she's Raven's trying to make her wrestle. She's like, no, I can't wrestle. He's like, no, you're going to wrestle. It's like, no, I can't. I'm pregnant. And he's like, what? And he's like, and I forget what exactly happens, but she's like, it's not yours. And he starts to go to beat up Stevie Richards. And people are like, what, Stevie? And then no, it's Tommy's. And then that's her babyface turn. And it kind of languishes from there because it winds up being, it was a fake thing. And like, she like has been cheating on Dreamer with Kimona, but like he doesn't care because he's hardcore, so 2 girls is fine with him. And at that point, it's like, okay,
it ain't cheating if it's a girl, yeah.
Now you're kind of stretching, and again, and I think
it turned very ECW.
Yeah,
it went as well as an ECW love story can go.
right, and. Yeah, like Paul Heyman and Vince Russo did not have the best track record of writing for women.
No, they did not.
Which is funny because one of my honorable mentions is a TNA couple.
I have no TNA. Oh,
I have
God.
one.
I'm going to write one down. I have an honorable mention for TNA.
Oh, you're thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of one from like the Spike TV era of TNA.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of the synonymous one for, I guess you could argue maybe Francine and Shane Douglas or something like that, but it was kind of the emotional linchpin of the biggest feud in ECW, so that's good enough for the 5th spot for me. Even though there are a lot of things that are kind of like, oof, doesn't age well.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna be honest, man. I think I'm getting a steal of the century in the 5th round.
Okay.
I think I am getting a home run pick, and it was something I was torn of even picking at 1, but I felt like it was gonna slide, and boy did it. And I was able to get it in the 5th round, and I think this is a monster pickup, BP. I think this is gonna change the landscape of the ABJ franchise. And no pun intended, that's not where I'm going here. I'm not sticking with ECW, but I'm gonna go with one of the best on-screen couples that started right before our eyes in a wrestling competition, then turned into a manager role, turned into a real-life relationship, turned into a reality show. And I'm gonna go with one of the biggest, probably realistically the best couple, the it couple in all of professional wrestling. And I'm going to go with Double M. I'm going with the Miz and Maurice.
You mean it's not Maurice?
Yeah, Maurice and Miz. Sorry.
You mean it's not Maurice and Ted DiBiase Jr.?
No, it is not.
Okay.
It is gonna be Miz and Maurice, and I think that is the steal of a century. They are one of my all-time favorite couples on screen. I miss having Maurice around there with the Miz because I think she adds another layer to his character that is so good.
Yeah, I think that's the weak spot is they're not really a tandem on TV enough.
Yeah, because obviously they're raising babies because
Maurice
Miz can't just stop. He can't
thing.
stop making babies with her. She's beautiful.
Yeah, but yeah, they have great chemistry. Obviously, like their reality show was entertaining. Feel like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
they always had good stuff together. If they would have had a little more on screen, where I would have probably rode with that.
Oh, in the chat we said Chris Jericho and Trish was great.
That was a great storyline. Yeah. So that was an interesting one because it had beats. Like I do one of the things that a lot of the ones I picked had, maybe not Indy Hartwell but definitely Randy and Liz and even Dreamer and Beulah, you had that through line. You had an overarching plot. And that was an interesting one where it's this whole thing where like Christian and Trish Stratus or Christian and Jericho are making this like sophomoric bet. It's like the plot of a teen movie in like the late 90s, early 2000s, where they're making a bet to see if Jericho can get with Trish first or if Christian can get with Lita. And Christian kind of gets shut down pretty early on, but then Jericho kind of really catches feelings for Trish for real. And then Christian is now trying to like mess with it because of the stupid bet.
It's like a movie. It's like an 80s movie.
And then the big swerve is at WrestleMania, Trish turns heel and winds up with Christian.
Yeah.
And
so let's go with some honorable mentions, ones that maybe we were close to putting in our list but didn't. And then I think the way we end the show here, BP, is maybe we pick some independent love. Let's give some character or some people in the independent scene that are maybe some great couples that complement each other, whether on screen or off screen. And that's how we'll end it for the month of February. When it comes to this is our little Valentine's Day lovey-dovey episode. But I'm going to start first with an honorable mention, and this is probably not on anyone's list, but it's always going to be on mine because this is another couple who on screen were a relationship, and once again Vince got his hands on it and felt that tried to ruin. Like I feel like just making fun of their relationship at any point in turn and cost, and it was just kind of scummy and disgusting. But when you look at this couple on a real life standpoint, they are Miz and Maurice level. They are ride or die. They have a beautiful family. They've been through the ups and downs. They struggled with what they struggled with and come out very, very good as real life people. And I'm going to go with Mike and Marie Kanellis Bennett.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to on screen, I know they didn't have a lot of time, but just in real life, I got to work with them and hang out with them. I love them to death as a real couple and just on screen as well.
More so in Ring of Honor and New Japan with the Kingdom and with Mike Bennett's solo run.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that. They were just kind of their WWE run was kind of doomed because
I forgot about that with Marty Bell and Allison Kay. Great pick. That's a good independent one. That one spans a little bit. Go ahead. What's your first honorable mention?
I think this is the one you thought I was going to take earlier. Just because I thought it was. If they would have done what I always wanted them to do, I would have taken this one. Otis and Mandy Rose.
Yeah, Mandy and Otis. I thought for sure you were taking that.
What would have put it over the top for me? I thought it always would have been hilarious if when they both turned heel and Mandy's in NXT and Otis is with like Gable, if you find out like they're still together, or even when Otis is a babyface and Mandy's a heel, you find out like, oh yeah, they're still together. Like they if they would have revisited it later and like, oh yeah, they just stopped putting all their shit out on TV, but they're still happily ever after. I thought that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Or if like just one day Otis just like TV becomes too good for Mandy.
yeah. If they would have, I think they just didn't have that progression beyond. Oh, what if the big dude dated the model? That would be funny. And if they would have went beyond that, I think it would have been great.
I'm gonna stick with here's my TNA pick. I think we know where we're going with this one.
I know where you're going. Yeah,
it spans between the independent scene and where they on the independent scene they may not be together anymore. Is going to be Ace Austin and Mean Gia Miller.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
Really? What did you think I was going with?
Because they don't really do a whole lot. Like, because she's mainly just an interviewer in TNA.
They have done the '80s shows where they came out.
Yeah, Rip Razor and I thought you were going to go PCO and Steph DeLander.
Oh, that's a good one too. That is a good
But
one.
now
No, I'm going.
PCO's gone from there, and it's Delander and Mance, which is the real couple.
Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm going Ace and Gia there for an honorable mention.
Mine for TNA was a bit old school. Was and this is kind of what I was talking about, where even though they went like different places with things like that, ODB and Eric Young, they were like they would like reference years later after it was kind of ignored that they were still married.
Yeah.
I like consistency. I like consistent, and Russo booking never has it. For some reason, that's one thing they always stuck with. Even when he was like a big heel and she was still a babyface, they're still married.
Yeah. My last honorable mention, there's a lot I had on my list. I had Shane Douglas and Francine. I had HBK and Sherry. I had Tajiri and Tori, which was funny to me.
That was
fun.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
I have one that I loved.
All right, well, maybe we'll still have it. I almost said Valkyrie and Morrison, but it wasn't too much on screen, too much. Another one that was really high on my list, and this is the one I was torn with between this one and the other one because it was around the same time frame. Jeff and Deb were one for me that I always loved.
Yeah.
That I thought they were a really good on-screen chemistry team together, Jeff Jarrett and Deborah. But I'm gonna go with the one that intrigued me the most because they were so weird and off-putting, but she was still very sexy and he was weird as hell, and I was like, what is happening here? And they were on screen real life together, and unfortunately no longer. But we're gonna go with
okay,
Goldust and Marlena. Yo, I seen them as a team growing up, and I was like, I don't know about this, but Marlena is awesome.
Yeah, and there's definitely a dimension there like Skip and Sonny didn't have. I guess
I
didn't watch a lot of Smoky Mountain, but like Tammy Fitch and Chris Candido probably had that like kind of dimension.
Yeah. Oh,
because
man.
that character, again, you can say what you want about the guy, but Cornette had a great character for Sonny in Smoky Mountain, where she was this like very opinionated, very outspoken, intelligent woman who loved Hillary Clinton, and she's like wrestling in Kentucky and in Tennessee where they hate her. Like it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
All right, your last one.
So I have a bunch of honorable mentions here. I'll try to.
You can rattle off a bunch of them and give me your last pick. Yeah,
it's funny that you had Stephanie and Triple. Well, we already gave our picks.
Well, no, how I kind of said here's a few of them that were still on my list, but I didn't go with. And then
okay,
you can do the same.
Yeah. The one that I'm like well, how did I forget that? Now I forgot it again. Holy crap! I had one. I'm like, how did I not remember that? And then I forgot it again. Let's see if it comes back. I said
Tori and Tajiri. And that kind of sparked something for you.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Got it. That's going to be the official pick. But some honorable mentions. Stephanie McMahon and Test I thought was interesting because again, logical consistency where it comes out that Stephanie was kind of down with this, and you know she wanted to go with Triple H, and she had a little more agency in this than maybe we thought she did, or at least she kind of thought it over and thought it for the best. Even after that, even when they're both heels. Even when they're both on the same side of the war with like, because I think Test defected and wound up joining WCW during the invasion, and Stephanie's part of the alliance because she owns ECW storyline. They still hate each other, even though they're on the same team. To the fact where like the Survivor Series, where the whole angle blows off, they have an immunity battle royal where whoever wins can't be fired for a year, because the whole thing was like, the whole other team's going to get fired. Like whatever team loses, that whole company's going to get fired. And so. Like the Test, it was like, well, Stephanie hates him, and if WWF wins, he's going to get fired. So he has to win this, and he did. So they did a lot like that. I thought that was fun. I also had Bam Bam Bigelow and Luna Vachon, just because
I had that on my list too.
A little weird, a little crazy.
Great one.
What? And I said Beth Phoenix might come up my honorable mentions. Here it is. I thought and it was like a relationship and also like an on-screen tandem. They weren't really together, but when she was with Santino Marella, like Santino did stuff with Maria Kanellis too, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I have another funny one, but it wasn't an on-screen couple, but they had good chemistry.
Although the thing I remember most for Santino Maria was when Santino was like poking fun at Steve Austin and like making fun of his movies and stuff because he was plugging his one movie, and Austin comes out with the beer truck and is going to hit him with the fire hose full of beer. And I'm like, Maria is wearing like the smallest, like flimsiest looking dress you've ever seen in your life. And I'm like, if he hits her that hose, she's not going to be able to keep that on. Like, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But she wound up persevering because she was probably glued into that thing.
Yeah.
But no, Santino and Beth Phoenix had it was very much a old school comedy duo where Beth Phoenix is almost like the straight man. She's the Bud Abbott. She's the Stan Laurel.
Santino's so good.
And Santino was like him and R-Truth are the two greatest comedic like performers ever. And
John Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena.
So but the pick I'm gonna go with, the one I'm like that I kind of just, it took me a second to remember, because again, and this was a very fun one too, was Nydia and Jamie Noble in early 2000s SmackDown, when like Nydia becomes like she wins the lottery and she becomes like the queen of the trailer park, and then she's blind.
Yeah,
it was so fun. Nydia and Jamie Noble was a lot of fun.
The only ones I forgot are, I used to like when the mixed match tags would happen and they would have some fun chemistry. Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman had one of the funnest, like they were really fun together. Yeah, Team Little Big was a lot of what he would like try to put on her shirts and stuff, and they were so like little on her. And then as you were saying, another one that was kind of wild. Oh, it just is in my brain and I lost it. Oh shit. It was wrong. Oh, it was a throwaway, but Sexual Chocolate Mark Henry and Mae Young.
we didn't say worst couples.
They had a beautiful baby hand,
which nobody got that joke.
Like, no one still knows what it means.
Apparently, like back in the day, I guess like sex toys were shaped like hands or something, is what I understand the joke was.
Okay. That's what they went with that? All right.
Yeah. The only thing I like about that is when they did the reunion, like way later, like the 20th anniversary of Raw, like the hand. Yeah, he's all grown up now. That was like, okay, that was good.
Yeah. So what are some independent love out there?
So I made the joke earlier, and it was the Mary Elizabeth and Tommy Vex first and foremost.
They're Mary and Tommy's number one. Yeah.
They're the Randy and Liz of the Indies. Yes. And but what the little offshoot with Mary Elizabeth and Big Dust was hilarious.
Yes.
Hilarious. It was such a fun thing.
I'll go with because we're losing them on the independent scene, which is great. I'm very, very proud of him. Veda and Speedball Mike Bailey. That's a power couple right there. They're always doing fun things. I'll go with that as an indie one.
Yeah, those are two really good indie ones.
You got any more?
Striking out here.
All right, I'll throw in Journey and Junie.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm thinking of people who like kind of present themselves as a
that's true.
More.
I mean, they have in times.
Yeah,
still
they have. Yeah,
yeah. Who's another one that like dated and had no? Oh, Masha and Akira just they'll just like, oh, we'll deathmatch against each other. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
and let's give it up for the greatest, one of the greatest, probably the greatest independent relationship team on the biggest scale. Cardona's Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona was
Chelsea signed again, but
but I mean when they dominated the indie scene for the longest time,
and not a romantic thing, but Cardona and DeLander had such great chemistry together.
Very, very good. Yeah, so much fun stuff. A lot of love in the world of professional wrestling. Before we get out of here, BP, anything you want to plug or talk about?
No, we already covered PPW earlier. March 15th. Check out our YouTube, PPW Entertainment. We've put up a few TV shows in the last couple of months. The latest one's one I'm really, really happy about. It has a match a lot of people really liked with Diego Hill and Christian Robinson. That's on the latest one that's on YouTube. Also a three-way with GKM, Griffin McCoy, and Vinnie Mac. That's on that show.
Yeah.
So that's on PPW Entertainment on YouTube. Also PPW Entertainment on Facebook and Instagram and X, the everything app that I only have still because I run PPW's account on there. That's the only reason it's still on my phone. That's the only reason it's still on my phone.
I'm this close to leaving that platform. It's one less thing I have to post to. I'm going to be honest. I might bail on it.
I nuked my private personal account there in November.
Yeah.
But I still run PPW's account on there.
Last thing I want to just go over is make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channels if you haven't done so already. We will be back Tuesday 7:00 for the championship. I forget what it is. I have to pee so bad, so I'm going to roll
WWA LA Championship.
You got it. All right, we'll see you guys next time. We're out of here.